And again, hello, and again, thank you for joining this GZ Sports again with Randy Savage and Jackson Bryan. Vamos. Yeah, man. I don't know if I'm able to pick you up. Go again. No, hang on. But before we just work out that audio issue with Savage, we want to start with this interesting discussion of Rodrigo being better than Phil Foden, and I think discussion is worth being spoken on. It's a really good argument. Rodrigo has been very good for the past year and a half, but has Phil Foden been better than Rodrigo?
Alright, you want me to answer this question, whether Phil Foden is better than Rodrigo or not?
Yeah.
Right? Alright, personally speaking, right, without any bias speaking, both are absolutely amazing players, right? We cannot take away anything from any of them, right? As it relates to stats-wise, Rodrigo is a beast. We all know it. Rodrigo outside the box, you know the result, it's in. Rodrigo is an absolute baller in my opinion. Foden is just as good, right? Foden is an absolutely unit. He's what a young player should strive and aspire to be. One of the main players in the team, disciplined, and also one of the main contributors. If you're going to ask me which one is better, I'm going to have to look at stats and say Foden. But if you just ask me which one I absolutely prefer as a player, then it's hard for me to decide. I probably cannot even discern between the two. But for me, just because of the goals and all the assists, and just the general play from the person, especially how they've been doing recently, it has to be Foden for me.
Yeah, it was an interesting discussion with a few friends today after the Champions League game, after Rodrigo scored, if he is the best young right winger there is. I remember Foden plays right wing, so it was a huge debate as to if Foden is better than Rodrigo. Rodrigo has won a Champions League, he scored important goals knocking out Foden, so maybe that does come into the equation in deciding whether Rodrigo is a better player than Foden.
Like if you look at it that way, right? Then it's kind of then you have a point. I can understand if someone says that Rodrigo is better than Foden, but we also have to look at it. Foden has won essentially almost everything that they can win as a young player already, except for the youth ballon, except for the Golden Boy award. Or has he won the Golden Boy?
He's not won the Golden Boy.
See, that's the only thing that he doesn't have under his accolades right now, and the Ballon d'Or as well. The only thing that has eluded him is the Champions League. The difference between the two players is that whilst Rodri is there on Real Madrid, he's not exactly a starter. He's not exactly there all minutes of the day, putting in the hours and being one of the main players. He's just merely a substitute right winger, right? As it stands. Foden, on the other hand, is a key and essential part and mechanism in the cog machine that is City. So I believe that I honestly believe that Foden is better in that regard. So as a player, Foden.
And Foden just what's that? Foden just signed a new £250,000 contract at Man City to stay there. He's the untouchable player that is at that squad at this point in time. So maybe they'll be looking to build a team around Phil Foden. And I'm saying maybe they'll be looking to build a team around Phil Foden, seeing as he's agreed the new contract offer with Manchester City in the recent days.
I see what you're saying. Foden, City should try to hold on to a gem like that, protect him. Pepper's come out and said he's better than Messi. But that's still kind of like, I still don't believe that for a second. A manager such as Pep Guardiola is saying that, then that means there's something really special. As far as I'm concerned, no one has said that about Rodri yet, so,
Yeah, Rodrigo's been a slow boiler since he's joined Real Madrid, but everything can happen in time. He still has a lot of time to
we
go.
just have to wait and see. As you know, he's one of the Champions League heroes last season, something that Foden has not accomplished yet. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. And speaking about Madrid, after the round of Champions League games today, Madrid are the only Spanish team to be top of their group, the only one not struggling to either be out of Europe completely or be in the Europa League. The question is it the year of number 15, or will Madrid not as unstoppable as they seem in Europe?
Alright. I've seen people say this a lot. Bear in mind, we have to look at all of the angles of this, right? Yes, Madrid have been absolutely amazing in Europe. Yes, the other Spanish teams have been lacking in that regard. But then you have to also look at the level of play that each teams are facing. Barcelona and others are playing against teams that you expect to have a long day against. Meanwhile, Real Madrid are just playing against the regular Joes, the teams that are there to normally make up the numbers. So, honestly, I don't want to jump the gun and say number 15 yet. But if they can bring the same level of energy, the same level of competence that they've been showing in the group stages, then I can't see why not, honestly. I honestly can't see why not.
Yeah, Fede Valverde as one player, he was fantastic today, created 7 chances for Real Madrid. He is their untouchable player, not Tchouaméni, not Camavinga, not even Vinicius. It's Fede Valverde. And I think with him, Camavinga and Tchouaméni as a midfield 3 going forward, it's really going to be hard to stop a team like that, especially if they can add the likes of Jude Bellingham to that midfield and be absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah, you're right in that regard. Real Madrid have really put their trust in the youth players for the last couple of seasons, and I absolutely applaud them for that. Like, not a lot of teams would do that, and honestly, it is a really good decision in my opinion because it's been paying off. We've seen a lot of their youth players developing really nicely. We've seen them having absolutely amazing matches, and I honestly just want to see it soon. As a Barcelona fan still, I think what they're doing over at the Bernabeu is absolutely amazing. Amazing work from Ancelotti for putting trust in the players. And not only for putting trust in the players, but for showing the young players that he does have trust in them. And I think that's where it lies right now.
Yeah, man. Good thing you brought up Barcelona. I was going to touch on them next too. They're finishing 3rd. They're in the group at 3rd place right now. Is Barcelona the type of team that is going to fall into Europa League this year?
Honestly, it's absolutely. I'd be surprised if they do, personally, because they've just been amazing in all regards for the last season and a half, and we've seen it yesterday. Milan won that game by sure refereeing. What can be the equivalent of refereeing with a bunch of wet toast, as you know my terms, because those referee decisions were atrocious, and I think that Barcelona should have at least come away with a point there. They dominated the game, and they just did not deserve to lose. But of course, we know it's not about who deserves it and who doesn't. Barcelona, I see them, unfortunately this time around, I don't see the fortunes changing in the Champions League. I see them going to the Europa League, possibly going to the semi-finals and losing. But it's a sad sight to see as a Barcelona fan, as a fan that was there when Lionel Messi was tearing it up at in the Blaugrana. And honestly, I just want to see them succeed. I just want to see them succeed again.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me, they go to the Europa League semi-finals.
Yeah, I mean, Europa-lona is what they're going to be known as soon because of how they started the season, and pundits coming out saying that, you know, they're favourites to win the Champions League. They're going to win the Champions League, and right now, if they don't beat Bayern, then they're going to be in huge trouble. You know, they have another game with Inter, and they've got to get a result there. They basically have to win all the games they have remaining to make it through Barcelona. But another player who could have joined Spain, could have joined the La Liga, defender Wesley Fofana scored for Chelsea today in their 3-0 win against AC Milan. Came off injured about 10 minutes later. A knee injury colliding with Rafael Leao. There's going to be tomorrow morning to see the extent. Graham Potter said it doesn't look good. 65 million and being injured for nearly the entirety of last season. Is this just Chelsea paying the piper for paying that much for Wesley Fofana in the first place?
Honestly, it's sad, but I'd have to say yes. I said this before, there's no shot to pay 75 million for a player that barely played last season. I don't care if it's Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't care if it's Lionel Messi. If they don't play for an entire season or barely do anything, then they don't deserve that price tag. Right? And honestly, I expected him to come up injured. I expected him to be injured at one point or another in this season, because that's what happens when you take an injury-prone player and stuck them in right after a major injury. They're not going to necessarily recover completely, to be honest with you, and I think that's what's happening right now with him. They didn't recover completely. They played him too early, and that just aggravated the injury. Worse with the collision, then you just have a bad situation all around.
Yeah, and you're someone who knows about knee injuries, so you know how bad this can be.
Yeah. It's absolutely just horrific. Because the first time when that happens to you, you're thinking, okay, when I get back to my regular self again. And then the second time, I can't believe this has happened again. Because it hurts. It honestly hurts a lot. And it's honestly just a trip. It's honestly just a trip. A mental and physical trip. So I hope he gets better soon. I pray that he gets better soon. But as it relates for Chelsea, I can say I can completely say that I've seen this coming.
And hopefully he does get back better as soon as he can, and in a timely manner. You don't want him to just be rushed back and then aggravate this injury and get even worse than what he is. Sticking with English, the general broad English, not just an English team, but an English player, Jude Bellingham, captain Dortmund again today in the Champions League. 19 years old, scored again, first teenager to ever score in 3 consecutive Champions League group stage games. £130 million is on his head. Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, they're all in for him. But the question that I'm going to pose is not which club he will join, but out of those clubs that I just mentioned, which team could provide